Hey, it's Christina with the Sisyphean Journal. I've been on hiatus for a while, and if anybody wants to know why, you can comment, and I'll do a separate video of why I've been in a bit of a funk lately and not doing any recording. But what I'm doing right now is I'm responding to a video by Steven Crowder, and I'll link to it below. And, you know, he's talking about how the abortion activists, the leftists, the only choice they seem to want you to have is abortion. You can't choose what school your kids go to. You can't choose. They don't want you to be able to choose to own a gun to defend yourself from a rapist. You know, they don't want you to be allowed to choose whether or not you get the Fauci ouchie. But something that often gets missed is they don't even want women to be making an informed choice about abortion. Choice is actually more of a euphemism for abortion. They are pro-abortion. And to give you some examples of how that plays out is, have you ever in your life seen pro-choice activists getting bent out of shape over the Chinese one-child policy? No. I think I heard Hillary Clinton speak out against it one time. And this has been well known for decades, about half a century. We have known about the forced abortion policy in China. And I can only recall, actually two. One is Hillary Clinton speaking out against it, and the other is Betsy Hartman's amazing book, Reproductive Rights and Wrongs, which it's an old book, but having read, I'm in the middle of The Real Anthony Fauci, and a lot of what Betsy Hartman observed related to abortion over in poor countries relates to all the other crap that's been done to women and children in other countries. So they don't get bent out of shape about forced abortion. In fact, the International Planned Parenthood Federation's Chinese arm brags about the millions of workers and volunteers that they contribute to the voluntary policy. And the only part of it that's voluntary is that they will harass and badger you until they get a signature. You know, okay, you're going to lose your job, your husband's going to lose his job, you're going to lose your housing, unless you sign here for this voluntary abortion. They will just heap on the punishments until the woman feels like she has no choice. So the pro-choice West doesn't care about that. When you look at women being badgered into unwanted abortions by baby daddies and family members, there have been abortion clinics that I've seen that actually had policies for how to deal with this situation. And it wasn't that you steer the woman or the teenage girl toward help following through on having her baby, which is what she wants. What you'll find is policies for making sure they don't scrooch around on the table and get injured. It's, chemical restraints, basically, to get them to lay still for these unwanted abortions. I have never, not even once, heard pro-choice people speak out against that. Whenever there's any kind of informed consent, they pitch a hissy fit about that. They don't want women to have any knowledge beforehand about the uterine entity that they're about to destroy. You know, they have no problem with the woman finding out later. You know, I've said before, my babysitter, to her, when the heart starts beating, that's a baby, you can't kill it. And when she asked Planned Parenthood about the baby, she was 8 weeks pregnant. That's going into the second trimester. That is a fully formed fetus, as all organ systems are in place. They told her it was a little blob like a blood clot. Tell me one instance when you have heard a pro-choice activist getting upset that abortion clinics will lie to women to get them to go through with the abortion. They will lie when the women actually ask questions. Look at them trying to shut down the pro-life pregnancy centers that offer women an opportunity to resolve the problems that have got them heading toward the abortion table to begin with. They don't want anybody helping the woman or her husband find a better job. They don't want anybody helping her escape an abuse situation, whether it's a domestic violence situation or abusive parents or sexual abuse. Every time there's anything that comes down to whether the woman is freely making an informed choice, they are adamantly against it. Once the idea of abortion crosses that woman's mind, the pro-choice movement believes it's their duty to get rid of anything, including the woman's own beliefs, the woman's own concerns, the woman's own priorities that would steer her away from that abortion. And they've got no problem. Ted Kennedy, who's dead now, actually helped to draft a bill because of his sister's intellectual disability, Rosemary Kennedy, to try to say that doctors should not be allowed to bully women into aborting babies on the grounds that they might have an intellectual disability. But you'll see case after case after case after case of doctors exaggerating what's wrong with the baby, bullying the woman, actually abandoning her, refusing to provide any further care unless she agrees to an abortion when there has been a fetal diagnosis. You will never hear the so-called pro-choice movement getting upset about that. That's perfectly fine. You're allowed to badger her into an unwanted abortion. Marla Cardamone died after she was badgered into an unwanted abortion. Allegra Roseberry died after she was badgered into an unwanted abortion. Comment below if you have seen one case of a pro-choice person getting bent out of shape over that other than Ted Kennedy. Okay? So this idea that pro-choice activists favor this one choice, they don't even favor that choice. Warren Hearn, who literally wrote the book on abortion, has advocated that abortion should be the treatment of choice, meaning the doctor chooses it, if he doesn't agree that the woman's circumstances are suitable for having this baby. He actually wants the doctor to be able to say, well, your income isn't good enough, your life isn't stable enough, I think, this health problem, you wouldn't be able to take care of the baby properly. He's actually advocated for mandatory abortions if the doctor doesn't think that she should be having the baby in these circumstances. How pro-choice is that? Abraham Alberto Hodari said he has license to lie in order to get the woman to go with the medical treatment, meaning abortion, that he thinks is in her best interest. So this idea that the quote-unquote pro-choice movement, I'm not talking about individual pro-choice citizens. I think individual pro-choice citizens would be absolutely outraged if they knew what went on. I'm talking about the movers and the shakers and these women who are at this basketball court flashing people, the activists, the hardcore abortion, 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 abortion. They use the word choice. They mean abortion. They don't care about whether the woman is actually choosing it. They just want to make sure it happens.